Welcome in Tuesday edition Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio here with you this morning. Texas A&M and Mississippi State have had their introductory press conferences. Their head coach hires are official. They're in College Station in Starkville. We'll talk about that a little bit. Ole Miss has a basketball game tonight. They face the North Carolina State Wolfpack in the ACC-SEC Challenge. Several SEC games going on tonight in that challenge. The 5-0 Rebels, the 4-1 Wolfpack tonight at the Pavilion, 8 o'clock start for that one. So those things and more coming up on today's show. Remember, all podcasts presented by Twisted Tea and the Oxford Exxon. A long time, a decade now. Love being those guys with the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides bread, any size fountain drink at the Beer Cave for championship weekend as you're trying to root for certain teams, maybe try to get Ole Miss to certain bowl games coming up here in late December, early January. So take advantage of it up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well there with the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number, ask for our buddy Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. And the rest is up to you. Shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guests join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102, just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. The Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care, pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So, we always talk about this, that college football is one of the places where if the aliens came in, you would wonder what the hell's going on with the human race.
Yeah.
Always thought that the Woo Pig Suey was probably the number one culprit for that, with the hands and the spirit fingers in the air as they're yelling. But yesterday's press conference with A&M with the Aggie War Hymn, right up there with it, with the swaying and the chanting and the songs and the whole celebration as Elko and Ross and the families and the crowd gathered in. I looked up the lyrics before. We have made fun of it multiple times here on the podcast. I was not aware, though, however, that the war hymn, the swaying was imitating the saw cutting off the Texas mascot's horns. That was the reason for
God.
That was the reason for the swaying. I was not aware of that until last night. So
that's bizarre. I mean, I've been in the room when they do the Woo Pig thing. And the only problem with it is it takes too long. But it's fine. It's no more corny than Bada Getta or Hottie Toddy or all that stuff. They're all goofy as hell, but the A&M stuff's just off in another world. It's in a different level of cringe. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to be a child molester, but it's something along those lines.
Oh, God.
That's in that ballpark. Again, I've done at orientation. I've done the Woo Pig Suey thing. It's fine. It just takes too long. But other than that,
it's the spirit fingers that are the thing, though.
But not everybody does that. Most people just kind of do it like that. Just hold their hands
come on
up.
now. No. Reynolds Razorback, you got 60,000 with the spirit fingers.
But they're not all doing that at the same time.
It looks like Bring It On, the cheerleading movie, a little bit.
I'm just telling you, it's fine. It takes too long.
Because it's three different.
I've been at Auburn when they do the Bada Getta. It's weird as shit. It is. It's really strange. But it's nothing like that yesterday.
I swear, I wonder if part of the reason, like, I do think it was a personification of the fact that part of the reason Stoops caught such backlash is he was not an A&M guy. You needed a dude. You wanted their guys after. I mean, Jimbo wasn't part. I mean, as much as he looked around and went, "Oh my God," but I'm getting a lot of money and we're just going to get through this. Elko already knew the words. Knew when to sway. He was in.
We'll see. Oh, people, stop taking me so literally. We're having a little fun. My God. One thing I've learned in this job, and there's like 1% of the population that are literalist. They're literalist. I can't relate to them. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, varsity was the Texas Longhorn prior to the Longhorn being branded by A&M, turned into Vivo after the 13-0 or whatever is why Vivo became the Texas Longhorns name.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that? Yeah, so the score of a game, I believe, between Texas and Texas A&M was, I'll look this up in a minute, but I think I'm right, was branded or put into the cow, the Longhorn.
Okay.
And to fix it, they turned it into Bevo because you could change the things into letters out of the score.
Oh.
I believe that is correct. Before that, I guess his name was Varsity because they go through. They start off with hullabaloo, connect. The lack of actual words in these college football things are actually my favorite part of it.
This is Texas A&M.
This is A&M. Yeah. Not Tulane. It's A&M. Hullabaloo, connect, and they got a first verse, all hell, dear A&M, rally around, chiggaroo, whatever. Rough, tough, real stuff, A&M's part of it. Then second verse gets into goodbye to Texas University, so long to the orange and white, good luck to dear old Texas Aggies. Those are boys that show the real old fight. The eyes of Texas are upon you. It's the song they sing so well. So goodbye to Texas University. We're going to beat you all to Chiggamaroo, blah, 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 whatever. And here's one thing, guys. You can never say you're not obsessed with someone if their name is in your freaking song.
Yes.
If you single them out individually, you have an issue. It's on you. It's a you problem, not a Texas problem. Somehow A&M makes me defend Texas, which I don't like either. And then they end with the chant.
No, I know when they play each other who I will be for.
Yeah. And then they start doing the sway thing, which apparently imitates a saw. And they say, saw varsity's horns off, saw varsity's horns off, saw varsity's horns off, short A, varsity horns are sawed off, varsity horns are sawed off, varsity horns are sawed off, short A, whoop. That's how they end it.
I mean, I will simply say this. The people that, shame on all of you who kept asking, do you think Lane's going to go to A&M? Watch that and just imagine for 2 seconds Lane Kiffin swaying back and forth with your buddy Ross and all those people singing that song. There's a 0% chance.
That was where my mind went, was can we just take Elko out and place Lane in this and make that make sense?
I mean, I would pay money to watch it. But he wouldn't.
Because you would never have seen a person more uncomfortable.
Well, he wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it.
You think no?
Absolutely not.
He wouldn't have been able to just go, a lot of money.
He's already making a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's why when people do the where will he go, it's always interesting to me how many people refuse to understand that the Venn diagram on this is a small list. Where would he go? He's got to go to a place that he fits. Got to go to a place that can win big, that can pay big, that will make him the brand. Texas A&M's not making anyone the brand. No,
the brand is this.
No offense to Lane Kiffin, but that's the brand. So it was never like people would do that.
Yeah, Lane is uncomfortable saying hotty toddy. Forget swaying. And
I've never heard him say it.
No. I think he started it the very first press conference, and that's about it. Might be the only time I've ever even heard it.
Yeah, he doesn't end his like Kirby ends every interview with "Go Dogs."
Yeah.
You know, whatever it's.
Drinkwitz says MIZ or whatever every time.
Yeah. Like I could see Drinkwitz sitting up there swaying back and forth.
100%.
100%.
Laughing.
He would be going money. But no, I mean, just there aren't that many. And A&M, it just never, when people would say that, I'd be like, it doesn't fit. Auburn would have been a horrible fit. A&M's beyond horrible.
There have been 15 Bevos to date. It was originally named Bo, but came to be called Bevo soon after his first appearance, 1916 Thanksgiving Day game, blah, 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 blah. The three theories. First is that Bevo was named after an amber-colored non-alcoholic beverage called Bevo, which coincidentally was introduced in 1916. And the other is that he added an O to the plural form of beef. The most popular theory is that cadets from A&M stole the mascot to brand 13-0, which was the score the Aggies had won by the year before. Faced with the dilemma, some UT students suggested combining the 1 and 3 to create a B, made an E out of the hyphen, added a V, and kept the O to create Bevo.
Okay.
So, again, no clue. But I knew I'd always heard that.
When the Horns and Aggies play, I'll be.
You're a Horn.
I'll be for the Horns.
No, Texas wouldn't make Lane the brand, but they're not a weird brand.
Right.
That's a different. That's like Saban's not the Alabama brand, but there's nothing about Alabama you're making fun of.
Right. No, the Alabama brand, pretty good brand.
Yeah.
No, I
that
mean,
works with Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Alabama.
I mean,
SC when they're
SEC programs that I think he'd leave for, it's like 4. Big Ten programs, I don't know that there are any. Depending on how you feel about the California schools, I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, sure.
And then Miami, that's it.
Yeah, it's not all across the country.
No, it's Miami, Texas, Bama, Georgia,
Florida,
LSU, and that might be it.
Yeah, look, there's something too, as Blake says, just being a big name that does nothing embarrassing. Sweet.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's your brand.
I mean, I'll say it. People say what they want. I think Texas has a cool brand.
No, they do.
I mean,
sure.
Their uniforms are amazing. Their helmet's awesome.
Their mascot's cool.
It's Texas. The mascot's awesome. I mean, yeah, that's 100% a great brand.
Oregon is interesting. I'm not fully ready to say no, but I'm not an automatic yes. I go,
What they look like in the Big Ten will be interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet.
They're going to be culture shock for the Big Ten.
Sure. It might be awesome. I just don't know. That's not a negative thing. I don't know. I need to see a year.
They're going to have to play some different games, different kinds of games, but from that mid-tier Big Ten, they're going to overwhelm them with speed and scoring, to the point that
Yeah. Agreed.
Illinois is not going to be able to match up.
You're adding 4 programs to the Big Ten. It will be really fascinating to see what it looks like next year.
That's a good point. The only thing Texas does that drives me completely insane is their level of bitching about the upside-down horns. Like it is a personal affront that has affected their families.
Yeah.
My God. Begging for it to be considered a penalty. It's like, oh, dear God. Because we can't affront the state of Texas.
I bet Texas LSU turns into something pretty salty.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Because the only thing that's salty about LSU and A&M is like coaches and stuff don't like each other. But I don't know that the LSU fans, I think they look at Texas A&M like, whatever. None of us could get in there. Let's just have a party.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Texas LSU thing feels like that could get pretty rowdy. The weird thing about Texas A&M is those are always the very nicest people. When they come here, they're always so nice.
Who?
A&M. Their fans are super nice.
Great.
They're maybe the nicest fans in the league.
They do.
Because most fan bases, quite frankly, have turned into just collections of when they all get together. Not them. They're really nice. I did not know that about the sawing of the horns, though.
Yeah, that's what I found out yesterday.
Kind of barbaric.
I mean, Trey Wallace hit Twitter gold. He had the video.
Was he there?
Yeah, I guess. I guess he was there. He was in the third row. I think everybody around him was trying to put their arms on him as they were swaying.
And he filmed it. Good for him.
Yeah, he did. He had 12 seconds of it.
I didn't realize that it was Trey.
Yeah. Well, even Ross looks uncomfortable. He's on the end, and I'm assuming he had his arm around Elko's wife, and he's kind of like. just kind of swaying. Now the other side was like the president or the head of the foundation or something, and they were. I mean, we're all in at that point.
Ross did look uncomfortable.
He did look uncomfortable.
He knew that was being filmed.
I'm going to get fired from here, and I have to live with this. This is my last hurrah right here.
I've got me on a tricycle, and now this. Yeah.
Again, somewhere Vitter with his feet back going, hey, gumball's not that bad.
No, it's still pretty bad.
It's still pretty bad.
He was bad. He did a lot of damage.
The
to
two
Ole Miss.
pictures from him that are the best are the gumballs, and then when I guess it was like right at the beginning of COVID, was it, or right before? Or maybe it was just him being sanitary. Is like he didn't have the glove on, so he's trying to like give the guy like the fist pound, the dap, but he's like not wanting to be unsanitary in the line, so he's like using the back of his hand and he's doing this.
No.
Oh yeah. It's. I mean, I would like to see Lane sway and do that, and say howdy to everyone. Is he?
Oh dear God! Sign me up. But it would just never. He wouldn't do it.
He walks to the press. Howdy.
He wouldn't do it.
Howdy, guys.
When they said, "Hey, you have to do this," he would say, "No, I'm not doing it."
No, Lane, that's not how we do the thumb. You have to keep the finger tucked right there, and you do the gig 'em. And
he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had a run-in with a Vanderbilt fan. Vandy fans are
they're fine. They're fine.
I mean, there's no expectation.
No, they're fine.
They're not anticipating winning. They're not anticipating anything.
Mm-mm.
And
in terms of even like baseball and stuff, they're very educated fans. They understand the game. They're good. They're fine. I know the whistle guy, but other than that,
he sucks.
He does, but everybody else they're fine.
Where is it? I had something real quick. Hold on. I'm going to get to state in a second. Before we go to our break, though, I did see the form for Jeff Lebby's contract details for anyone curious. 4-year contract. I think they're giving him an extra foundation year, just like Ole Miss. I think it's an automatic rollover to 5. His average annual base compensation is $4.51 million, so $4.5 million. A little lower than I thought, honestly. I'm a little surprised he couldn't get that a little higher there.
What are the incentives? Because some of the incentives are probably
$50,000 SEC Coach of the Year, $100,000 National Coach of the Year, $125,000 for each regular season win against an SEC opponent, starting with the 5th. So if they have a winning season, he gets an extra $125,000 for the 5th win or the 6th win. Like in an Ole Miss season this year, Lane would have got an extra $300,000 under these stipulations. SEC championship game appearance, $100,000, $250,000 for winning the SEC championship game. I will say this, and we had a mutual friend text me about this last night. Some of these like that, why are those not way higher? Because if you hit them,
if you win the SEC,
it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Like it should be, no, my salary goes to $9 million or some crap.
Yeah.
Like the hell with $100,000.
Well,
we're about to.
Let's be clear here, and this is the Lebby part that's interesting. And look, for the record, I think I think it's a really good hire for them. I know you're not supposed to say that; people get mad, but I do. I think Jeff Lebby will do a good job. But if he does a really good job, he's not going to be there long.
No.
They had a choice between Jeff and John Sumrall. They took the
flashier, faster.
Yeah. They took the express route.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff will either win pretty quickly and get out and maybe leave it better for the next guy.
Yeah, sure.
Or he will quickly become frustrated. They will become frustrated because it's not happening fast. John was going to come in and completely build from the ground up, culture, program, and it would work, but it would take years. And what you're seeing now is that no one has patience for that. There is a now. I believe that their decision was based on Ole Miss's success to a degree, and that's not a criticism. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do because of what's happening around you. But it will all be about NIL and their ability to get the kind of players in that can operate his offense. His offense is very good. You go back and look at UCF. all the way back to there. They have put up big numbers in that offense. So when people say, well, their offense won't work, well, it won't work if they don't have players.
Yeah, sure.
But if they have players, his offense has proven to work. It's at UCF, at Ole Miss, at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I think he's a good hire.
It is similar from a straight what they were trying to do to what Ole Miss did with Lane. Is, hey, if he's going to win, it's going to be fairly quick.
Yeah,
it's going to go get guys.
Yeah.
Now Ole Miss was at the bottom and said, hey, we need a brand. We need some juice here. Go find it. No pun. Like, go get it going.
No, Ole Miss had gotten incredibly boring.
Yeah,
Let's
not be boring anymore. Was the thought.
Yeah,
and yes, now now you look up and Lane's been here a minute and it's kind of whatever.
Right.
Nobody anticipated that going in though. Had most people said, hey, over under 3 years, most people would have said push or under. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Lane would have too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this time a year ago that he did a press conference, I guess it was signing day, and
he admitted that.
Yeah, and he looked at me and said, "You're surprised I'm here, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he kind of laughed and said something along the lines of, "Me too."
Yeah.
And maybe that works for them with Jeff. I just kind of doubt it. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I'm not being that guy.
We'll be shocked if we look up and Lebby's there in 5 years either way.
If with his connections and his pedigree,
yeah,
if he wins, I don't know, 9 games in a season at Mississippi State, they're going to have a hard time keeping him because he'll get the big job.
Something he just can't say no to.
And I thought his press conference, he did a good job.
He was fine yesterday.
He was good.
Yeah, I've got a couple things on that. We'll get to that in a second. First, you ready to elevate your college football game day experience? Twisted Tea, your go-to game day beverage for college football fans. It's unlike any hard beverage you've had before. It's real brewed tea, flavorful punch, 5% alcohol, and no carbonation, delivering the perfect balance of taste and refreshment that goes down smooth for every game day occasion. Don't settle for the usual. Twisted Tea turns up any occasion, especially when you're cheering for your favorite team, you're tugging in the stadium, parking lot, watching in a bar, hosting friends at home. It's there to elevate your experiences. It complements your love for college football and your passion for creating unforgettable moments. So let's toast to unforgettable game day experiences. Twisted Tea, the drink that fuels fun and celebrates your love for college football. Keep it twisted.
Dead Soxy welcomes you to the winter sales event of 2023. Buy more, save more. The more you spend, the more you save. So stock up on gifts, stocking stuffers, and don't forget a little something for you as well. Get 25% off any order, 30% off any order of $120 or more, 40% off any order of $240 or more. Visit deadsoxy.com, use the code RebelGrove at checkout, and take advantage of this holiday sale from Dead Soxy. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego with Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products, same great services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. A-Stock is a Nashville-based online retail company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at just $1, no matter what the retail value may be. So shop now at astock.bid. That's ASTOCK.BID. Download their app, name your price on thousands of items from big name retailers. If you're looking for some Christmas gifts, Christmas less than 4 weeks away now.
Oh, wow.
Go to collegecornerstore.com. College Corner is in Oxford now. They got 2 locations in the Jackson area. It's best Rebel gear you'll find anywhere in Mississippi. Again, collegecornerstore.com. And we're brought to you by Pinnacle home to the 401k advisory services team. Get in touch with them. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com.
Podcast also brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. It's getting closer to the end of 2023. So if you need to make your year-end donations for tax purposes, call the foundation, and they will walk you through their philanthropic giving initiatives, whether it's the Vault Society or Empower. Both initiatives give you a tax-deductible way to support the Champions Now campaign. Or if you're working on estate planning, call the foundation to discuss Forever Ole Miss. For information, 662-915-7159 or give to athletics.com. So the rest of Lebby real quick. Had that right here. Where is it? There it is. Bowl stuff is the only rest of it. He gets $100,000 for the Birmingham Independence or other SEC Tier 3 bowl games. $150,000 for participation in one of the following bowl games: Tax Slayer, Rely Quest, Duke's Mayo, Music City, Texas, or Liberty, or an equivalent bowl game should a sponsor title change. He gets $200,000 for the Citrus Bowl, or $250,000 for participation in the first round of the college football playoff. I was looking for access bowls, but that's gone now. Now you're in the playoff, so that confused me for a second when I was looking at the terms for that. And like I said, I know a big push for Lebby was trying to get any more money possible for staff and for support staff, that third tier of analysts and things along that line inside their program. That's been a big thing. They went all out
to the point that I think he took a little less.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Hey, let's do this, and then we'll do this. No, his press conference was fine last night. I had no issue with any part of that whatsoever. I thought it all was great, or adequate. But point being, they did it outside. It was freaking cold last night. Like, they were all bundled up. It's like you got a basketball arena, you got whatever. What are we doing? Why are we doing it outside?
I don't know.
Couldn't do the smoke machines if you were inside. Was that the problem?
You could do smoke machines inside.
Well, I think so. I'm just saying. They were big on the smoke machines last night.
They were big on
it had a big, like, professional wrestling kind of theme to it last night.
They were big on the smoke machines when he got off the plane.
I mean, we have smoke machines there too?
Oh, yeah. You ought to see the video. He gets off the plane first, and then as his kids, who are still pretty little, are getting off the plane, the smoke machines just engulfed them. Like, it probably scared them. Like, what happened here?
I mean, they were... I saw a couple quotes from, like, their marketing guy or whatever the title was, and he was talking about, like, they were basically trying to go big and, like, show brand, and they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, again, whatever. I just thought it was cold. I was like, everybody's, like, shivering out here. What are we doing? It's like 6 o'clock at night. It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Yeah, be careful shooting fireworks inside, but otherwise, it's fine.
Mac Attack, thanks for the super chat. Is there a world where Kirby Smart would leave Georgia for Alabama post Saban? I don't think so.
That would
surprise me. If you told me there was a world where Kirby Smart wins another national title and heads off into the sunset, I'd buy that. Kyle's has ranked the top 5 weirdest traditions in SEC football. I don't know. I mean, people get mad at me when I say this. I kind of think most of them are all pretty weird, but that's what makes them unique. Like you've said, if you just drop somebody in from outer space and said, watch this, they'd be like, what in the hell? There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean,
looks a little Jamestownish. Everybody doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The whole place.
Yeah.
The arena.
Yeah. But I don't know.
The collection of things at A&M is why I make fun of them to the level that I do. It's the cheerleaders. It's the gig 'em. It's the howdy. It's the war hymn.
It's just kind of cringe.
It's all of it together. It's the dog in the reverence that is shown readily.
To a collie.
Yes. I mean, nice looking dog.
Oh, it's Lassie. Everybody loves Lassie. It's
great.
Yeah.
But I didn't see Reveille at any of the press conference stuff yesterday.
Really?
Was she there?
I don't know.
You didn't watch?
I don't watch them. I watched John Sokoloff's report from Mississippi State, and it looked like Jeff did fine.
What did he say?
Nothing. He just did
He won the press conference enough?
Just put together a news package.
I'm not even necessarily making fun of Ross when he did this yesterday, but he said that when they were researching who to hire, they researched every team to win an SEC championship and national championship in the college football playoff area, and then here were the key factors. Defensive-minded head coach.
Nick Saban.
Championship-level culture.
Nick Saban.
Recruit and develop elite NFL-type talent.
Nick Saban.
Play great offense and score a lot of points. with a high-level quarterback. Okay, wait a minute. So Ross, what you need to do
so let me get
is
this
be
right.
really good at development, recruiting, offense, and defense. You knock
And
those
have a
things out,
quarterback.
you're going to win.
Yeah.
Hey, damnedest thing. I
As
mean, you're not wrong.
I mean,
But,
what we're going to do today is reinvent the wheel. Anybody got anything round? I mean, come on. Of course that's how you win. Do you watch the NFL? Who wins? The good quarterbacks win. Surround him with enough playmakers and play defense well enough, and you win.
A lot of talk, by the way, about Riley Leonard headed to Notre Dame for next season.
I'll give you another place to watch.
Okay.
Auburn.
For Leonard?
Mm-hmm.
The kid at Kansas State jumped in the portal yesterday. Yep. Howard, is that right?
Yeah.
And then Tyler Van Dyke jumped into the portal last night. So a couple moves there.
PSA.
Yeah.
This portal thing is going to be goofy. You're going to be shocked, I think, if everything I'm starting to hear is even remotely true. A bunch of guys are going to jump in the portal if for no other reason, just to go shopping.
The ones that have leverage that know the original team can't cut them,
right,
or doesn't want to cut them, they can just go play.
Yes.
And come back.
Yes. That's going to become.
And you said this before we started the show. I think it's a very clear point that needs to be made as we get closer to December the 4th when the portal opens, but we're full pre-portaling right now, and by that I mean tampering, is anyone on the current roster that you are trying to keep, they are seeing it as they are a one-year transfer. You have to pay them what you would have to pay them on an open market to be a one-year transfer. So when you say, hey, here's what the Ole Miss, Auburn, Georgia, A&M collective's budget is, that's also the current roster.
Yes.
That means that amount of money, has to go get new players because Ole Miss is going to have to really focus on defense. They're losing a lot of guys on defense. Focus up front. They need offensive linemen. They need linemen in general. And then the money also goes if they're able to convince a Prieskorn, a Harris, a Watkins, a whomever, Pegues, to stay around for another season.
Yes.
That goes there too.
Yes.
Roster retention
is actually the biggest part of your budget.
Yeah.
Like there's a rumor out there, it's on our board, it's being mentioned in the thread here. Harold Perkins, the linebacker at LSU. The rumor is that he's going to get in the portal. He can go back to LSU.
Yeah, they're going to go, hey, Harold, you know what?
They'll take him back. Off. But what does he get in the portal? And at some point, this is where we're and look, I think we're getting to this place in this time a year from now, where a lot of schools are going to view, okay, well, we didn't make the playoff. That was a failure. You know, like in the past, you could sell 8-4 as a success. Right?
Yeah, sure.
We went 8-4. Big year. 8-4 is not getting you in the playoff. And so if the whole thing is playoff or bust, and you don't make the playoff, and then you go, hey, fans, need you to really chip in a little bit more this Christmas. And let's face it, it's December. You're asking people for money in December.
Yeah.
Hey.
Not April, tax season, when everybody got some refunds or something.
Little Johnny doesn't need that bike. We need a defensive tackle. It's the first sign of, I think the market correction starts a year from now.
Well, it's also where we talked about this months ago, the donor fatigue of that mid-level booster. Not the guy who's giving hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that probably doesn't matter to him. Right. He's able to do it. And not the people that give a little bit, because look, that the Grove Collective appreciates you, but you're not changing everything when you do that individually. I mean, I get collectively, whatever.
I'm talking about the guy giving like $250 a month.
And I'm even talking about the guy that gives $20,000 a year. He's still going, hey, we're doing this instead of going to Europe.
Well, his wife's saying that.
That's on my point. Like, hey, we were going to take that second honeymoon, but we're going to buy 1/8 of a defensive tackle. That's what we're going to do.
Which does what?
Yeah. Because that's the amount in that number that I've got some buddies that go, oh, I don't know.
Sure.
It's like just enough. You got to hear it and deal with it.
And when you don't go to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Only 12 teams are going to the playoffs. And only 11 from Power 5. There's going to be a lot of failure next year that didn't used to be a failure. The grading scale will change dramatically
Well, look, it's
next
a
year.
failure this year, but the exaggeration in here's a good example: LSU. You went 9-3. You were supposed to challenge Alabama. You've got at least a Heisman finalist on your roster, and you go, "Hey, you missed the playoff and went to the Outback Bowl."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, it's like, "Oh, they went to the Outback Bowl." Okay,
that's
fine,
what I mean.
Whatever.
Next year, it's going to be this is failure.
Yeah, there's like 5-8 teams that overreact to a schedule in a season. Yeah. LSU's the best example.
You've changed the game.
Notre Dame's a decent example.
Yeah, nobody's gnashing teeth in Baton Rouge right now. They kind of want to shake up on the defensive side of the ball. They're annoyed, but they're fine. It's not vitriolic.
Mm-hmm.
This time next year, if they're 9-3, it'll be vitriolic.
And they went what they probably should have gone. They could have beaten Ole Miss and they could have lost to Missouri.
Yeah, they split their
toss-up games that were whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of that, I have no knowledge of this or anything else, but I know it was a thread on the board. It's been a thread in the stream a little bit. I would probably, if it matters to you at all, I would probably brace for Drinkwitz winning Coach of the Year in the SEC simply because Ole Miss has a higher name value than Missouri as far as what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
10 wins at Missouri feels like a bigger deal than 10 wins at Ole Miss. It's actually a credit to your staff and you guys. But I would probably anticipate that as you move forward.
But I can't put up a big argument against.
No, it's fine.
Eli winning.
Yeah, I got no issue.
SEC Coach of the Year.
No.
I said this. I think you could
6.5 to 10. Okay.
Remind me to share something with you in a moment that I just got.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you can make an argument for Lane. Obviously, I voted for my vote. If I had one, would be for Lane.
Yeah. I think he could win it, but
you could. But you could vote for Drinkwitz. I think you could vote for Saban. And then I'll be honest. I'm surprised more people don't give Kirby credit for what they've done.
It's like we always talk about. You just don't give it to the best player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not seen as you just did what you should have been doing. That's why I thought Saban deserved third place on my ballot if I had one.
Yeah.
Had to find a quarterback. Now, it's his fault, but had to figure it out. Milroe got better.
They did an amazing job. That team did not look 11-1 at the beginning of the year. All right, I'll do this because I don't want to. Boxford Beagle says there's a rumor LSU's coming after Judkins again with the ridiculous NIL offer. Have you heard anything about this? I've not. Would that surprise me? It would not.
No.
Look, if you're LSU, this is sort of. I'm on Shohei Ohtani watch. Okay, if I'm LSU, I want Ole Miss to spend a whole lot to keep Quinshon Judkins. Why? That's going to stop. That's going to take more out of their coffers for another guy. So, yeah, if I get involved in the bidding, sure. If I can make Ole Miss pay 1.3 instead of 1.1.
That's an extra $200K not going to somebody else.
That's $200K that's not getting the, as crazy as this is about to sound, the backup level safety that we're going after. So, yeah, tamper like hell. And listen, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you cannot get mad at your rosters being tampered with. You're tampering with rosters. Everyone's tampering. They call it, they literally to the point that they've come up with a different name for it.
Pre-portaling.
Pre-portaling. Because that sounds less sinister than tampering. And as long as you're not just stupid brazen about it, there's nothing the NCAA can do. And everyone's figured out how to do it. And so they're doing it. And the tampering started in, it never stops.
I mean, 365.
You're tampering all year long.
It's seriously just.
It's the ones that if I feel for anyone, it's these group of fives that are successful. They spend so much of their time trying to retain roster, and they don't have the goods to do it.
So they lose the really good player because they just can't.
Yeah, you can't. So. And ultimately, I think
and the price is so much more. Like baseball this past year, teams were able to do that. They were able to keep their one guy most guys would have taken. Like the portal overall was not as good talent-wise in baseball this year from a year ago because the mid-level teams went, can't really go steal anybody, but I can save the one dude that I would have lost to Texas or A&M or whomever. Football, though, the money's just...
With Perkins, I'd keep a close eye on Alabama.
And look, I mean, for Ole Miss and Judkins or any running back in the country, the argument is simply, do you pay a running back at that level?
Well,
that percentage of your budget.
I will be curious to see. This isn't talking about.
Does Ole Miss throw Bentley a good deal to go, hey, well, you got a COVID year, come back?
Yeah. What I'm curious to see is, do they start to reflect the way that NFL teams build their rosters?
Yeah, where running back is.
Where do you put your money?
Disposable, potentially.
Because in the NFL, the money goes to quarterbacks, wide receivers, edge rushers, offensive tackles, corners.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you start to build your roster financially?
Speaking of offense or lack of, did you see the stat? The Steelers beat the Bengals. Was that right on Sunday? Was that the Bengals?
Yeah.
They passed 400 yards in total offense.
Mm-hmm.
Not 500, 400.
Yeah.
For the first time in 59 games. Almost 4 seasons.
Well, NFL teams don't get to 500 yards.
I know it. 400, you'd think occasionally something would happen.
Sure.
4 seasons, almost.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
It was the end of Roethlisberger and then a beginning of a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
A young quarterback in Pickett.
Yeah. They passed it. Now, they only scored 16, 17 points?
16 points. 16 to 10 was the final.
Yeah. So it wasn't like it went nuts or anything, but just saw that and went, oh, wow.
Yeah, Evan Stewart in the portal, I would also watch for Alabama. I'd watch Alabama.
That feels real.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just go, hey, that
makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
And look, this is where Alabama benefits for something. We don't give them enough credit for this. Their reputation among kids is that is the place to go to get developed for the NFL.
And Georgia and Alabama do such a good job recruiting high school kids that they spend a lot on retention.
Yep.
And the kids know to develop, and then they can go pluck one or two
Mm-hmm.
places. They go get that dude and whatever and play it from there.
It's the one thing, if you ever watch on a Sunday, I don't know if you've ever done this, take a Sunday and watch the Georgia Twitter feed, the Alabama Twitter feed, the Ohio State Twitter feed. It is nothing. No matter what happened on Saturday, it is nothing but NFL.
Yeah, Ole Miss has gotten better at it. They don't have the amount of people, so it's not as overwhelming.
Right.
But something with Alabama, I mean, they have been recruiting at a high level for a long period of time, but their ability to turn this into the high school kids just knowing I'm going to the NFL, and you've got this whole Sunday social media push that's built by Bama. It's really impressive. They do one hell of a job with it. Before we go into our next break, quickly lines for this weekend. Championship Saturday, if you will. New Mexico State Liberty, they're in the Conference USA Championship game. Again, Liberty would be the next team should Tulane not win on Saturday for a Group of 5 game, I guess. They are a 10-point favorite in New Mexico State and Jerry Kill. Oregon and Washington, this opened at 7.5. Now the Ducks are favored by 9 against the Huskies. Where is that game?
Which one?
The Pac-12 title game. Where do they play that?
It's at
is it San Francisco?
Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Actually, those games are on Friday. I apologize. Yep. Both those are Friday games.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Saturday, Miami, Ohio, Toledo for the MAC title. Toledo a 7.5-point favorite over Miami, Ohio, the Red Hawks. Oklahoma State is getting 15 from Texas at 11 a.m. on Saturday in the Big 12 title game. Boise State, UNLV, I guess, are the teams that ended up out of the Mountain West because they went to computers to figure that out. I have no problem with that, honestly.
That actually will be a good football game.
Boise State, UNLV?
Mm-hmm.
Barry Odom's done a hell of a job at UNLV. And Boise State has held it together with an interim. Boise State -2 against UNLV there in that game. No idea where that game is.
It's in Vegas.
Oh. Is it a home game?
It's Vegas got the home game.
Oh, okay. So it's at their place, not some other venue.
No, it's at Allegiant.
Okay. Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm. That's where they play their games.
Oh, do they really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Georgia, Alabama. Georgia's giving 5.5. It opened at 6. It's now at 5.5 for the SEC championship game at 3:00 on Saturday afternoon.
What chance do you get Bama? Percentage chance.
38.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead. What do you got?
No, I don't know. I've got a funny
little better than 1 out of 3.
I got a funny feeling about it.
Oh, I expect close. This is not a blowout Saturday.
And I just wonder what happens if.
Look, I can't have a worse take than Missouri's the 13th best team in the SEC this year, so I can say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
it's over. Tulane favored by 5.5. They're at Ullman facing SMU. Tulane can get into the college football the Access Bowls with a win over the Mustangs. I think Liberty is getting it, so I don't think SMU can play their way in. Appalachian State and Troy on Saturday, 6.5 with Summerall and the Trojans to the Mountaineers. Louisville getting 2.5 from Florida State. Florida State minus 2.5. Louisville can win and get an ACC berth in the Orange Bowl.
That's kind of the money line pick, right? Is Louisville? Is it Louisville or UNLV?
I know nothing about those teams. Yeah, sorry. It's Louisville.
UNLV is pretty fun to watch offensively.
And then here's what I hate. The Big Ten title game is at the last game of the day at 7. You're supposed to play early. Like, you've been doing this all year. Y'all like the 11 o'clock games. Why are we playing at 7 o'clock for your championship? Play during the day.
It's been that way for a while, though.
I know, I get it, but I don't like it. I want the Big 12 game at night. Let's have some crazy shit happen.
Yeah.
Let's play the Big 10 at 11. Let's play the SEC loves that 2:30, 3 o'clock thing. That's their thing. And then play the Big 10. Iowa getting 23.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this is they're getting 23, and yet the over-under is 35.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Iowa's going to score 7 to 10 points. That's what they're going to score. They're going to get a defensive touchdown and a field goal. They're going to get a pick six or a fumble return for a touchdown, and then they will get a field goal. They will score 10 points. So the question is, do you think Michigan gets to 25?
Bobblefish says the Egg Bowl was the most watched cable program on Thursday night, 2.29 million. That doesn't shock me.
What was the NFL number?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody got an NFL number for Thursday night? It was Seahawks, 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll be curious to see what the Friday NFL game did.
Oh, yeah. And that was on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
What time was that game?
It was like at 2:00.
Okay. Because I saw the end of it, but I didn't really watch it.
Dolphins and
Jets.
I'll be curious to see what that game got on Amazon.
Would you take Michigan or Iowa in that game?
I probably would take Michigan and lay the points, and I probably would take the over.
Yeah, I like the over.
Yeah.
I actually think Iowa might score another time for some reason. Mop up, whatever. I don't know.
Maybe.
I didn't watch that Friday.
Michigan doesn't have to do anything but score more points than Iowa.
Win a game.
That's it.
He has never won it. I know Neal is the Iowa guy, but I am willing to lead a riot if Phil Parker doesn't win the Broyals this year. The fact that he's never won the Broyals Award is astonishing.
I mean, who else the hell would you give it to?
I'll give you the list in a minute.
All right.
I have the list. We'll do that for a second. First, speaking of Lane Kiffin, if you missed out on a pair of the Grove Collective shoes from Realtree and the Grove Collective, here's your chance to do one better. Style Assembly is partnering with the Collective to offer a pair signed by Lane himself. You can enter two different ways. You can go to shopstyleassembly.com, purchase a raffle ticket for $25, or make any purchase on the site or in the store, including gift cards. Each ticket or purchase counts as an entry. No restrictions on entries. 100% of raffle ticket sales, 100%. Plus 10% of all regular merchandise goes to the Grove Collective. Use code RG15, that's RG15 at checkout for 15% off your order. Free shipping on orders over $150. Discount obviously cannot be applied to raffle tickets, so knock out some holiday shopping while supporting the Collective's NIL efforts. That's shopstyleassembly.com or stop by the store at 203 North Lamar. Ask for Kate, and she'll help you out.
Just saw where Tim Brando went off on ULM for firing Terry Bond.
Oh yeah, you missed that.
I didn't see it.
Look, Tim gets pretty hot about the Warhawks.
Yeah, he and I we're birds of a feather, right? We're both alums.
You are.
He's a little more passionate about it. There are two things
Tim takes really seriously. Anything to do with Dale Brown and ULM.
I did not realize that he was that intense about it.
Oh, he went off on Terry. Terry should have got another year. He was turning that bitch around.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't, Tim. I love you, but no.
We're brought to you by John Edwards Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Get in touch with John if you're planning a trip that you want to be one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He's going to give you options that you don't have to you won't be able to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, OPA, is the perfect place to plan your Christmas party, your company dinner, your festive party event. They have fabulous food, great craft libations. They can accommodate up to 200 guests. So check it out. For catering or booking information, contact Jeannie, 601-421-7147. Also call Jeannie if you're thinking about wanting to rent out rafters or a part of rafters on the square in Oxford. Rafters Music and Food, a great place for a company event as well. We're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. We told you yesterday about if you're looking for a job, if your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can help you as well. Keep in mind that payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take your first step toward a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free, nothing to lose. myperfectfranchise.net. Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or you can give him a call at 404-973-9901.
Podcast also brought to you by Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. They have 7 different flavors available for you, everything from the North Star Barbecue, one of my favorites, to the Signature. They have a new flavor coming out soon as well, the ginger soy. Get ready for that and much more. Make it easy for you. I know everything's busy, especially the holiday season. You can use it in recipes. You can get quick lunches, dinners when the kids have things going on. They ship directly to your door. Fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate with Prime Shrimp. That's primeshrimp.com. Again, use code RG. 5 pouches or more, 25% off, primeshrimp.com. Podcast also brought to you by Northeast Spark, NESPARC. 2 packages, the Ignite 100 Mbps or the Blaze. The 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's NESPARC.com. 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. Again, that's 662-238-3159.
So you say when I apply for the ULM football job later today, I should not tag Tim Brando for his support?
I mean, I don't know how Tim feels about you, but I'm just saying he was very upset about the...
I'm going to tag Hartwell.
Well, you definitely should tag Hartwell.
Yeah,
He's the AD.
He's the AD. I mean,
you have a personal relationship with him.
I do.
I mean, by the way, I have no idea if this is correct, but somebody who would know told me James Madison has twice the athletic budget of everyone else in the Sun Belt.
Well, he's a former president.
Well, thanks. Yeah, got that.
No, yeah, that's probably right.
Theirs is in like the 60s and everybody else is in like the 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I heard like several of those bottom tier Sun Belt teams are kind of going, I mean, what the hell are we
what are we going to do? Yeah. ULM certainly in that group.
That would, yeah, that's
what
I was referring to.
They've got no money.
Yeah. The Broyals Award finalists are Georgia offensive coordinator Mike Bobo.
All right.
Done a good job this year.
He's fine.
LSU offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock.
He did a good job.
He has Jaden Daniels.
It helps.
Michigan offensive coordinator Sharon Moore. He's going to win. He was the active head coach for Michigan the last 3 weeks. Just telling you, he's going to win. Iowa defensive coordinator Phil Parker.
They are 10-2. They're playing in the Big Ten championship game, and their offense scored 1 touchdown. They have wide receivers who have played the whole season who haven't caught 10 balls yet, and they're 10-2. Now, why do you think they're 10-2?
Well, I told you, I'll grab the pitchforks. This is not mean most gaudy unit. Who was the best coach? He did it with the other side being an old 1840s wagon trying to get down the Oregon Trail.
I mean, he had no margin for error. You give up an opening drive
It's
touchdown,
over.
it's over. Ball game. And
Seriously.
And the kids know it.
It is like pitching every game when your offense never scores. And you go, if I throw one ball over the middle of the plate and he hits it out, we have lost.
I hung one curveball. That was it.
And that was all. Game over.
I walked a guy, gave up a home run, ball game. I held them hitless for the last 8 innings. We lost 2-0. It was over at that moment. Literally every week he's like, hey, guys, you got to be perfect this week. We're playing Western Michigan, still got to be perfect.
They're not going to score.
Playing Michigan, guys, you give up a field goal and this bitch is over. That's pressure. And they've responded. Laid one egg.
Yeah.
The whole season.
What was our other loss?
I can't remember who else they lost to.
Because Penn State beat them 31-0.
Yeah. Oh, they lost that goofy game to Minnesota where they got robbed.
Oh, that's right.
Because that was a punt return for it. They should be 11-1.
That's right.
They should be 11-1. That was a missed call.
It's a good example. One of their losses, they gave up like 9 offensive points.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And then offensive coordinator at Oregon, Will Stein.
He's good.
Yeah, I mean,
but
yes,
whatever.
Those teams were very gaudy.
But yeah, they'll give it to Moore at Michigan.
He's never won it.
Oh.
That's incredible. Get him.
If Ole Miss plays Iowa, what would the total be? 32.
They would predict something like 21-10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would be hard to bet the over anything above about 37, 24-13-ish.
Yeah. And they work a lot of clock, that offense.
That's the biggest thing is just the pace.
Yeah.
Ole Miss having to adjust to a team that just won't go.
No, they're not going to go. They're gonna try to frustrate you. And it works a lot.
Yeah. And it works against Big Ten teams that kind of do the same thing. I mean, Lane would like to run 85 plays. You can't run 85 plays against Iowa.
It'll be tough.
Ole Miss, NC State tonight at the Pavilion, 8 o'clock on this one. And a little oddity here. Shows you that Vegas knows that a lot of gamblers, especially just the public, they look at records. Mm-hmm. They look at home teams. They look at things like that. Because Ole Miss actually got 5 votes in the AP Top 25 this week. That was because media just looks at names and beard and 5-0, and they have not watched an Ole Miss game. They just see 5-0, and
because Ole Miss is 0-5 ATS, right?
I don't know that, but I would assume. But tonight they are favored by 1.5 against North Carolina State at home tonight. The Wolfpack are 4-1 on the season. They're coming off a 95-86 loss to BYU in a tournament somewhere. They beat Vanderbilt 84-78. They beat Charleston Southern 87-53. They beat Abilene Christian 84-64, and they beat the Citadel 72-59 to open the season. That is in reverse order of their of the year. They are averaging 82 points a game right now and shooting 46% from the field on the season. The ESPN analytics gives Ole Miss a 55.7% chance of winning this game tonight.
Oh.
Ken Palm does not feel the same way. Ken Palm has Ole Miss at 39% to win the game tonight. 61 for NC State.
It's more where my thoughts are, too.
They have Ole Miss at 32% to win at home against Memphis on Saturday. Just go ahead and looking at that while I've got it up here. Because, yes, Ole Miss is 5-0, but Ken Palm is still predicting a 14-17, 5-13 season there for the Rebels.
Well, I mean, so far what they've done is they've been really gritty. They've
played pretty composed the last 2 minutes of every game.
They've locked down on defense, especially the last couple minutes of every game. They have gotten tremendous play from Alan Flanagan. He has been fantastic for them. Morrell's been okay. They haven't really developed that consistent third scorer, which I think is critical, whether it's Brakefield or whether it's Jalen Murray. They need someone to be, hey, night in and night out, we can count on you to give us 12.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have that yet.
And they have gotten, I think, a denial of a waiver from Cisse and one coming or has come on Murray. So I think what they have, they have.
Yeah, I think we're doing a semantics thing.
I
This
do
is
too.
my opinion. I think what's happened is that they're filing or have filed an appeal,
So they don't have the final verdict,
and so until they have a final verdict, they're
saying they don't have a
choosing
final
not
verdict.
to update it.
But I think the initial ruling was a denial from the NCAA. I have that fairly well sourced, honestly.
He's going to get asked about that tonight, I suspect, and he strikes me, and as he's just not going to answer that. He's going to say it's
The process is not completed.
the process is not complete. Yeah,
There's a way that he can answer it without answering it, is my guess.
yeah, and maybe they'll win on appeal.
Yeah, sure.
But,
Cisse had a valid argument. Now, that does not mean anything,
but so far this has been the NCAA with
their last teeth.
with maybe
last tooth.
one or two exceptions. They have denied these all over the country.
Yeah. And I've somebody at another compliance department in the SEC said that essentially they're being sticklers to the point of being stupid because it's their last fight to do anything, that if there's one little thing off in the paperwork, it's an automatic denial. That essentially if you're not perfect on everything they might possibly need, they will not ask you a follow-up. They will just deny it and move on and tell the kid no. So they're being petty now on top of everything else.
Shock.
Yes. The rest of the lines.
On the flip side.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the flip side, if you grant a ton of these without documentation, it's off to the races. And you go back to where we started with football and all the transfer portal stuff. I personally think it's inevitable that we're going to get to where guys can literally shop their wares every year.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're headed. And so this is the last obstacle from that.
Ole Miss game is on ESPN2 tonight, by the way. Some national TV for that. The rest of the games tonight in the ACC SEC Challenge, you got Syracuse. They are a 1.5-point favorite in Baton Rouge against LSU tonight. You got Mississippi State. They are a 9.5-point favorite on the road at Georgia Tech tonight. I think State's ranked 21st in the current poll.
State has played really well so far this year.
They have. There are 3 undefeated teams in the SEC remaining. There's Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and South Carolina.
Did not have that on my bingo card.
Just the facts.
Yep.
Just the facts. That's all I got, okay?
Yep.
The best Ole Miss can be is 5-0.
That's true. Hey, that's true.
It's been a little skin of teeth occasionally. A couple balls in the air as the buzzer hit, but they did not go in on either one of them. South Carolina, interesting line here. A lot of credit to the Gamecocks. An 8.5-point favorite at Notre Dame tonight.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know where these games are. No, sorry, home game against Notre Dame. Yeah, sorry. I'm wrong about that. It's in Baton Rouge at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame is at South Carolina.
Okay,
sorry about that. Kentucky at home against Miami tonight. 6.5-point favorite over the number 8 Hurricanes.
Oh,
it's a big game there tonight with
for sure.
With Miami and Kentucky. Pittsburgh minus 7.5 at home against Mizzou tonight.
Oh,
Missouri has a loss to Jackson State on its resume to this point.
They do.
Not great.
Not good.
Again, Ole Miss minus 1.5, and then Alabama at home against Clemson tonight. They're a 9.5-point favorite over the Tigers.
Bama looks good so far.
Who'd they lose to?
Bama?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Somebody beat them a few days ago. I don't remember who it was.
I haven't really turned the page to college basketball just yet. It'll probably start this week.
I don't have lines on these games, so we'll look at the lines tomorrow. But the rest of the slate, Tennessee is at North Carolina tomorrow. That's a good game. Texas A&M is at Virginia tomorrow.
That'd be a good game, too.
Texas A&M coming off a win over Iowa State last night or Sunday night, one or the other. I don't remember which one. Florida's at Wake Forest.
I'd actually love to watch A&M Virginia. That's two really good coaches.
Yeah. So you got that tomorrow night, 6:15 on ESPN2 at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville. Duke is at Arkansas on Wednesday night.
That's the late game, right?
8:15.
Yeah.
Boston College is at Vanderbilt at 8:15 on Wednesday night. Georgia is at Florida State at 8:15 on the ACC network, and Virginia Tech is at Auburn, 8:15 on ESPN2.
Oh, okay.
So there are 3 games at 6:15 and 4 games at 8:15 tomorrow. Is that the same today? Today is almost everything at 6 or 6:30 except Ole Miss and Alabama playing their games at 8 and 8:30. Bama doesn't tip till 8:30 tonight at Coleman Coliseum. So, see, what are you griping about? It could be 30 minutes later.
Oh, I'm kind of glad tonight that it's a late tip because that way I get to go to Carson's game and then still get to the basketball game.
Who do they play tonight?
Starkville.
Is that competitive?
Yeah, Starkville treats them like they're Ole Miss.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, and the Oxford kids never match the intensity. It's like they
Oh,
hate.
really?
Oh yeah, it's like the thing.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's weird, but it is what it is.
I didn't sense that in football the same way last week in the playoff game. It
Yeah.
just kind of whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's amazing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, and the difference is, I think in the soccer, there's enough club crossover where kids have played against each other a lot,
Yeah.
and so it gets a little chippy.
I had this noted yesterday, just to mention on the show. You were talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or whatever. On Black Friday, 54% of the online sales were on a phone. Over 50% for the first time ever.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
as opposed to like a laptop. Or
any other type of device. That mobile sales were 54% on Friday.
You don't think Big Brother knows everything? Big Brother knows everything.
I mean, literally.
They know everything
They're listening
about
to
you.
everything.
They know everything about you. Your buying habits. Everything
I
you
can
do.
have conversations in my house, and I go to Amazon, and those products are recommended to me.
Yes. Suddenly it pops up.
Because I have Alexas all over my house. I mean, again,
And
I'm boring. I don't care.
And you think of her as this friendly little person.
No, look, again, though, I don't
She's
care.
just sending it up to the big boys.
Like, I get but we should have privacy. And you're right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I completely understand it. I'm also very boring.
Yes.
If you want to know that I need some shower gel, go ahead. I'm fine. It's cool. I got no problems. I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Alexa would break up with me. She would say he's just too boring.
I mean, I use Alexa a lot. Like, I talk to Alexa a good bit throughout the day for different things.
Yeah.
A lot of TV operation, a lot of different stuff, quick little hitters. Carly-Ann uses her for music a lot.
Yeah.
Gets really frustrated when she doesn't know exactly how to talk to her because, I mean, you got to phrase it certain ways. It is a robot. It's a computer.
Yeah.
There's a difference on, like, hey, watch versus turn on. That doesn't do the same thing. So, yeah, you learn over time. It's all good. So,
would you like some peace of mind knowing that your roof is taken care of? Whether you need an inspection, a new roof, or a maintenance program, Riverland Roofing has you covered. Home or business is a GAF Master Elite contractor that can offer warranties that last a lifetime. Licensed and insured, Riverland services Mississippi and its surrounding states. So text or call Riverland today, 662-644-4297. Are you ready for the ultimate college experience? Welcome to College Town, Oxford, your new home away from home. They know you want the best, and that's exactly what they offer. No more long commutes or missing out on campus events at Ole Miss. They're next door to the campus, offering spacious 2, 3, 4, and 5-bedroom cottages, each with individual leases because they believe in flexibility and simplicity. They have incredible amenities, make you feel like you're living in a resort. It's designed to give you the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. Don't break up the gang. Pick out your favorite floor plan. Reserve it today at collegetownoxford.com. 662-300-3733 to get their VIP list and find out when leasing for fall 2024 is open. And I'll have a mailbag tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss. Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously, call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art Hayes at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Heavenly Sunshine. Still a couple days more to get those Christmas lights up. Again, it's after Thanksgiving. Last chance. Let them help you out. If you haven't done it by now, you clearly don't want to do it, so let someone do it for you. I know that can be a lot of work, but they'll take care of the hassle and do it for you. Full service installation. They install, take down, and store the lights. Use commercial grade LEDs, 100% customizable to your home or business. Let them take care of the lights. We take care of the gifts. They've been serving the Mid-South and Oxford for over 4 decades. Their full-service commercial and residential property maintenance includes power washing, soft wash roof cleaning, facade cleaning, and window cleaning. That's 662-342-1203 or heavenlysunshine.com. And then remember, that if you are over 65, they've got the high-dose flu shots for patients at G&M and Tyson Drugs, or if you just want the extra little protection there, they will help you out. Most clinics typically give standard dose to all patients, but they highly recommend the high-dose flu shot from them. They also have the new RSV vaccine for anyone who needs that. Those vaccines by appointment, which makes getting in and out super easy. Give them a call to schedule, 662-236-2222 for G&M in Oxford, or 662-252-2321 for Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs. So there is that. What's your level of interest on Saturday? How much football will you watch?
I'll be covering a basketball game, so that's going to mess up a little of it.
By the way, when you read that Sotheby's ad, you say Art Howe, and I think of the former baseball player every time. It stuck with me, and I went, "Oh, Hart." I went, "Oh no, that's not what you're doing." I did the
exact same thing. I'm interested in the Big 12 game. I'm interested in the SEC game. It will have to be really good to keep me captivated. That's about it. I'm interested a little bit in Louisville, Florida State.
If it's close, sure.
Because I'm a little interested to see, like, let's say for kicks and giggles that Florida State wins, but it's sloppy and it's close.
They're in.
I think they're in. Boy, that's where the committee looks at each other and goes, all right, so we're building a blowout into the playoffs. Because we're going to put this crippled
against
team against Michigan or Georgia. We're building a blowout into the playoffs at the expense of 12-1 Big
Georgia,
12 champ,
or Alabama or Texas.
And then that's the other thing that I just wonder: what happens if Alabama beats Georgia?
Because you think Bama's in for sure? They jump everybody.
I mean, I don't know what happens now. You have 12-1 Alabama.
Is there a world where both get left out?
Well, let's talk through it. So here's your problem. You have 12-1 Alabama that just beat 12-1 Georgia.
Yeah.
Texas wins.
Yeah.
12-1 Texas goes, we beat them at their place. We did it.
Here's the stats. We kind of blew them out, honestly.
If you're putting Florida State in and they won, you're putting them in because of resume. Well, here's our resume. Here it is. See the game in Tuscaloosa? We're the one that with the most points. Only team we lost to was Oklahoma. And y'all have Oklahoma as a Big 12 team.
There is a world. Florida State's 13-0. Michigan is 13-0.
Okay.
Florida State looked like hell going 13-0, but they're 13-0.
The Pac-12 winner gets in
with one loss. So call it Oregon.
Okay, let's say Washington wins. They're in. They're easy. They're undefeated.
They're in.
Well, they're in undefeated. And Oregon's in with one loss to Washington that they just diminished.
So that would leave one for Georgia, Alabama, Texas.
How do you figure that out? How do you do it? It's the chaos we deserve. So, yes, if you're asking how much football will I watch Saturday?
With the right scenarios, a lot.
Well, I'm more interested in that than I was some of the games last week that everybody was all geeked up about. I was like, okay, I get it, but like Florida State was not a particularly interesting game. Other than a lot of people were cheering for Florida to win because that would conceivably knock Florida State out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It would have made the path for Ole Miss easier.
Yeah.
100%.
But from how are you guys going to handle this?
You'd have three major programs at 12-1 with two winning conference titles.
Giving, in my scenario, a bid to a Florida State team that everyone knows right now
would lose to all those teams.
Would get mauled by those teams. How do you do that?
And yet,
it always works out. So if you made me...
And there's a path to work out.
If you made me bet what happens, Louisville beats Florida State. Georgia
wins.
Beats Alabama. Alabama goes to the Sugar or whatever as a two-loss team and whatever. That's probably...
Oregon beats Washington, which puts Oregon in.
Or they get some real lucky break and Oklahoma State knocks off Texas.
Texas is the team that probably is about to get screwed. Because Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Florida State. Or Washington, Florida State. Either way. The winner of that game, Florida State. Because Florida State probably just finds a way to win the freaking game.
But this is where we got time to do it tomorrow because they'll do the ranking thing tonight. They'll do the show tonight that may or may not be.
Do they reset it all tonight or no?
I don't know.
Because if you're ever going to reset, tonight would be when to do it. You don't just on Sunday start moving all the numbers around.
Well, no, because if you do it on Sunday and you don't,
it looks like you completely just.
Well, you admit that, hey, these last 5 weeks or whatever it's been, this was a dog and pony show, and you suckers were dumb enough to watch it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what they want to do.
And they haven't. Look, again, they may not do it. Ole Miss may be in the Citrus Bowl, and Missouri may be in the Cotton Bowl, and Oklahoma could be out of this bitch. I don't know.
Right.
So that's very possible. That's whatever. But if the scenario that Staples laid out is true, they would be much better off going ahead tonight, moving numbers around, and going, hey, Missouri's teams they beat, those don't look as good now. Ole Miss has the 2 top 25 wins, and you start doing it that way.
And if I'm an Ole Miss fan, by the way, the game that I'm absolutely not missing on Saturday is Tulane SMU. That's my game.
The Wave have to win.
You need Tulane to win the game.
Yeah.
But I am interested in that part of it. How would you settle a Alabama, Georgia, Texas all 12-1?
I think Georgia's the odd team out because they don't have a conference title. But the SEC and the stick they carry getting left out.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
So, yeah, look, Saturday could be really interesting. It could be, oh, hell.
Oh, hell.
Where the politics that happening in the late hours Saturday night into Sunday morning would be worth watching. Whew.
It's really funny.
Well, and again, the Florida State thing is to me the interesting part. Because I've heard them talk about eye test and stuff before. What does it look like?
And they're told, I believe, that injuries play into how you rank teams.
And so if you watch Florida State right now, they don't look like if I told you Florida State's playing Ohio State on a neutral field, you'd be like, oh, I'll take Ohio State. I'll lay 20 points.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the Bulls don't want that. Where are the games this year?
It's Rose and Sugar.
Yeah, if you're the Sugar Bowl, you want a good game,
right? Isn't that right? Yeah, that's right.
You're going to send Florida State to go play Michigan in the Sugar Bowl, and in the first quarter, it's 27-3. And then it's over, and Michigan just goes, hey, that backup quarterback has no chance against this defense, and they just kind of wrap it up like a snake.
Yeah, Oregon can set the stage on Friday. Go ahead and win. Let's go ahead and start the 11-1s, 12-1s.
Sure.
And I think Oregon wins.
I think Oregon will win. And so now you're saying, in fairness to Washington, who doesn't pass the eye test either, right? But what you're saying is, hey, the win in December is more valuable than the win in October.
100%. Because that's literally, that's what their resumes are. They beat each other.
Yeah, and so, if I'm hand-raised guy just kind of being questionable about it, I say, why? Why? So if we're going to lose a game, lose it early?
Well, it's kind of the point to the other side of it. It's the same thing. It's if you go, nope, Missouri has a better resume than Ole Miss, and I get it's not head-to-head, but whatever, for the sake of it. It goes the other way if you go, no, Missouri beat Tennessee and Kansas State, and then the other guy goes, well, hold on a minute. You just ranked the college football playoff teams by what was going on at the end of the year.
Right.
Those teams suck now. They're out of the top 25.
Right.
Look at LSU. They're 12.
Right.
Shohei Ohtani sign with somebody?
No. Lance Briggs is talking Bears now.
Yeah, look, my guess is Missouri stays ahead of Ole Miss, but I understand what Staples is saying, and I'm not discounting Staples just having suddenly an opinion.
Well, he wasn't the only one either.
More people jump on that boat?
Yeah. McMurphy got in it, and he's pretty connected too.
He might be the best bowl guy.
He's good at it. He's not guessing.
No. He didn't just go, hey, I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff today. So that's all fair.
This thing is the 4-team format is so bad it deserves a disaster. It really does.
He knocked out Missouri and Ole Miss.
He put Oklahoma and
Penn State
Penn State in, yeah.
He did. His projections are Washington, Alabama, Fiesta, Penn State, Tulane, and the Peach, with the Atlanta having to take the pipe this year. Miami, SC. Oh, the Sun Bowl. Sorry. Okay. No, where the hell is the other bowls? No, what's it got in the Cotton? Never mind. He put a graphic up for something that makes no sense. Hold on a second. Why the hell would he put the Sun Bowl in a graphic but not put the Cotton Bowl in a graphic?
I don't know.
Okay, he has Ole Miss, the team out. He has Ole Miss out, Missouri playing Texas in the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State, Louisville in the Orange Bowl. Oh, good God. If Ohio State cared. Penn State in. So he has Oklahoma and Ole Miss, the odd teams out.
Okay.
He went scratch. He didn't move anyone.
He's got Ole Miss in the citrus.
I would assume. Yeah. I didn't look down for that. But yes, he has Ole Miss, Iowa in the citrus, and the early line on that game from Action is 13.5.
About right.
Which is a humongous line for an Iowa game.
It is, but it's about right.
Notre Dame and LSU a pick 'em early.
He's got Notre Dame and LSU in the
Outback.
What used to be the Outback, yeah.
Texas -3 against Missouri.
I can tell you that LSU is fully expecting to be in Tampa.
Georgia -11.5 against Florida State. Oregon -1 against Michigan. Again, these are all make-to-believe lines, but Action Network is what they do. They have Vegas lines to this. Ohio State -14 against Louisville. A&M -5 against Wisconsin.
Ooh, that's an interesting game, actually.
Tennessee -6.5 against UNC. I'm only doing SEC games.
Tennessee would smoke UNC.
Auburn, half a point favored against Oklahoma State in Texas.
Be an interesting game, too.
Just an interesting game. Clemson -2.5 against Oregon State in the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah.
Now they've lost their coach. Jonathan Smith headed to Michigan State.
Feel sorry for the BUs right now. Yeah.
Kentucky -5.5 against Duke in Charlotte for that bowl game.
Yes, transfer portal guys can play.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. That's the weird part of what's coming, like some of these practices and
They'll
stuff.
They'll skip a practice to go on an official visit and then come back and practice.
Yeah.
It drives Lane insane. He mentions it every time it happens.
But he let his guys go.
You have no choice. Yeah. That happens a lot.
And then some guys will just frankly, the bowl season is where if you're informed, you can make a lot of money.
We always make fun of it, and Mark is projecting there not to be an SEC team to fill it this year. Troy Liberty Birmingham Bowl is not a bad bowl game.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's a good Birmingham Bowl.
Wow, that'd be a good game.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it going.
What's the date on that one?
December 23rd.
That's too early. That's too late. I'm not going on the 23rd.
Oh, you're not going to Birmingham for a bowl game?
Oh, I don't know. I might go to see that one.
Okay.
If it was on a right day, I'd go watch that game.
Okay.
That'd be a good football game. I mean, we get all these football junkies that watch football year round. Like, the game's on TV, I'm watching them. Well, that's actually a good game.
Yeah. So
offense versus defense, two really good coaches.
So we'll see. I do think it is possible that Ole Miss jumps. They have the better resume, but that doesn't mean they're going to jump. Those are two different things.
And we don't know whether
because, like Adam, I love you. I appreciate you being here, but you're being just as emotional from the Missouri side as the Ole Miss people on the Ole Miss side. We don't know.
Yeah.
Because look, common point differential on all the common opponents is not what the committee is going to use. That's what Missouri people keep talking about.
Right.
That's not the way it's going to work.
I don't think. I think it's about quality wins and total resume. And then, again, I'm going to say it for the gazillionth time. The bowls are going to have a say.
Yeah, and now I do keep agreeing with you that I don't like Staples using TCU in 14 as an example. It's nowhere near apples to apples at all.
There might not be an apples to apples.
Yeah. That was a conference champion issue problem that doesn't exist in this, as they fell from 4 to 6 in the last rankings. And then were highly pissed off when they played Ole Miss.
And there's, in a world where Texas ends up in the playoff, the Cotton Bowl might go, screw it, we'll take whatever this year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't get that, so, okay.
I don't know.
Or you could have a Texas team left out of the playoff because Alabama got in ahead of them, and then you play them in the Cotton Bowl.
And if at that point, I'm like, send me somewhere else.
I don't want anything.
I don't want anything to do with the Horn when he's all pissed off.
Because that would be the way to most piss them off. I mean,
oh God.
Oh,
well, I mean, I know we're
12-1 conference champion, and you let Alabama. I know we got to.
I know we're too long, but how do you justify it?
No, you
how in what world? What argument do you use when you go? Okay, well, the argument they would use is, well, Alabama has the best win. We went there and beat them. Yeah, but that was in September, so September doesn't count.
I know.
To take Alabama over Texas, assuming that they both win on Saturday, you have to just rewrite the rule book.
It's why I'm not sure that Ole Miss Missouri is not going to come down to the game on Saturday. Because when you look at resumes and you lay them all out at the end, and if it's Ole Miss or – no, look, it may not be Ole Miss or Missouri. It might just be Penn State and Oklahoma, and they're both out.
Sure.
And then maybe Missouri goes to the damn Citrus Bowl.
Sure.
I don't know.
Right. I don't either.
Point being – when you lay out the resumes at the end, we're not looking at point differential and all that crap. Just how'd the games turn out?
Mm-hmm.
Tulane wins on Saturday. They're going to be ranked like 14th.
Yeah.
And you go, Ole Miss beat 13 and Ole Miss beat 14.
Yeah.
Who'd Missouri beat? No one in the top 25. And they go,
there you go.
Okay. Again, that is the argument for Ole Miss getting in, right? I don't freaking know. I'm not on the committee. I'm not any of those people. I'm not Bill Hancock.
Well, here's the thing. If we get the chaos that we're talking about, they won't get to the Cotton Bowl until like the very end.
Mm-hmm.
They will spend so much time. How do we do this? It's why I'll stop with this because it has always bothered me. You know this. I'm bothered by two things in college football: the 14 playoff and the way they do overtime. Drives me nuts. There was always should have been a guy in the room that goes, "Hey, what do we do if?
Yeah,
what do we do if?" What do we do if we get chaos? Here, I'm going to lay out a scenario for chaos. How would we fix this? You take 12-1 of Alabama over a 12-1 Texas that its only loss was on a neutral site to Oklahoma, and they beat Alabama.
I know. That's why I think the SEC gets left out into that.
So in that scenario, let's look at quality wins. So here's how they'd go. Well, Alabama beat LSU. Alabama beat Ole Miss. Alabama beat Georgia. Is that their only quality wins? Those are the only big wins?
Yeah, sure.
And so they'd go to Texas and go, okay, well, who did Texas beat? Who did Texas beat? They beat Alabama. Do they have another big win? They lost Oklahoma. They would have beaten Oklahoma State, I guess. Who would they have beaten? And so maybe they'd go, see, Alabama's got more quality wins. They're in. And so your answer to well, so head-to-head doesn't matter? Well, not necessarily.
No, only when we want to matter. Because we're screwed. We don't have 4 spots, and we need 6 spots.
We need 8 spots.
Yeah, or whatever.
We should have done 12 this year.
But in this argument, there's 6 teams that would be.
As opposed to if you had a 12-team playoff, this would all just be about seeding this weekend.
Yeah, who gets the buys?
Yeah, and buys would matter.
Yeah. We'll discuss it tomorrow. Rankings tonight coming out, 6:37, whenever the hell that happens. So that tomorrow, plus reaction from Ole Miss, NC State, again tonight at the Pavilion, ESPN2, the channel for that one. 8 o'clock tip for the Wolfpack and the Rebels. So take care. Appreciate everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.